right, so here we go. I'm going to read the questions off, I guess. So what does trance mean to you? Trance, I mean, well, for me, my personal definition of trance is kind of, you know, the combination of really, could be anywhere from simple to complex melodies to generate kind of a movement on the dance floor in combination with the bass line changes and everything like that. At a specific tempo, for me, trance music's more between like 136 to 142 BPM. It could be different for everybody, of course. That's just what I like. It's totally a preference thing. But yeah, trance is just, to me, it's also kind of, there's a specific energy in the movement of the dancing that trance music brings about. I think it's a little bit lost lately, not because of the music, but just because people are kind of more in line with just kind of dancing a specific way. And I hope the old style of dancing to trance comes back, and it could. But trance is just, yeah, I don't want to define it as one specific thing would be a real pitfall. So let's just say very driving, very energetic, very melodic dance music that focuses on four to the floor beats. Yeah, around that specific tempo. Number 2, the world is about to end and you are organizing the last ever party. Which DJs would I book to play? I book us 7, I think. I think we cover a huge amount of sonic ground, all in the same kind of territory of what we like. So I would definitely take a good look at like John Askew, Simon Patterson, Will Atkinson, all of us, Alexi Stefano. I'd probably also look at like Paul Van Dyke. I really like what he's been doing lately. Meta and Glide, my guys from Regenerate, Activa, things like that. I think that would be a special party. Greg Downey, definitely. What is my greatest fear? What's my greatest fear? I guess dying while on a flight and then not being able to get my body back here. That's weird, I know, but that's a weird one considering how much I fly. But yeah, I guess that would be it. What is my earliest memory? I think it was actually like, yeah, my earliest memory of my life. Okay, we'll go with that. The only earliest thing that I can remember was when my brother Ryan, who was 2.5 years younger, was born. And, you know, of course, my parents, knowing that all the attention was going to be to the newborn, they bought me a pair of roller skates to have during the birth time. So I stupidly strapped them on, and I was only 2.5 years old. I actually was roller skating around the hospital at the time and barely able to walk at that point, 2.5 years old. So I think that's what I remember. I'm not so sure if that's actually the truth. Who knows? Have I ever said I love you and not meant it? I don't think so. I think I've always meant it. I mean, just because you love somebody, you know, the romantic notion that there's only one love out there for everybody and that you can't fall in and out of love, even sometimes with the same person again, I think that's all bullshit. So I definitely think that I've always meant it, but it doesn't mean that you don't lose it. Let's see. What's my guiltiest pleasure? Doritos, I guess. They're so bad for you. Cool Ranch Doritos. Jesus Christ, I love them. Yeah, I mean, I've been known to buy cases of them and stock them in my studio, not give any to my kids, and literally just munch through a case of Cool Ranch Doritos within the course of 3 weeks. So that's definitely really bad for you because of all the saturated fats. But shit, I love them. What's my all-time favorite movie? I really don't know. I have a lot of favorite movies. Potentially Marvel's Avengers Endgame. That was really good. All time, maybe Braveheart. That was pretty good, inspirational. Or Forrest Gump. Love that too. If I could change one thing about the world, what would I change? Just the wastefulness of the planet, I guess. And I'm not going to say, oh yeah, climate change, all that bullshit. Nothing like that. I just wish people wasted less shit. And I see people dump out, you know, half plates of food at a restaurant and stuff like that they didn't eat, but they paid for. But then it's, you know, that food, and not to mention the amount of wasted food that gets dumped out of a supermarket out their back door every single day because they didn't sell it. It's not fresh enough. That's really sad and stuff. And also the meat and the amount of animals that had to die to make that meat, and that just gets thrown in the garbage because it just didn't get purchased. That's pretty sad about how wasteful we are. What is the most important lesson life has taught me? Well, life's taught me a lot of lessons, but I guess the most important one is to just really never, ever, ever give up. If you do that, then you lose it automatically. But by not giving up, you're always giving yourself the chance and the much higher possibility of, obtaining your goals. In a film about my life, who would play me? Oh, shit. Well, he's not an actor, but I guess the one that I've gotten the most, everyone says the closest likeness to over the years is, I guess Frank Lampard would have to play me. I mean, is there any question there? I'm only allowed one alcoholic drink for the rest of my life. What do I choose? A ridiculously spicy double shot Bloody Mary. It's weird, I know, but I just freaking love tomato juice. If you were an animal, what would I be? What would you be? A chameleon. I always thought, yeah, I like a chameleon. I think that's much more of an analogy to how I am in the studio. I like to be very flexible and I like to be able to try different things and sound like different things, and so a chameleon would be definitely closest to my own likeness. Which track from my back catalogue do I think best defines me and my sound? I mean, from everything from then to now, of course, most people are going to say Lift, but that's just too obvious an answer. I'd like to go with something a bit newer and say Chrome is definitely a really, really good current definition of my sound. When did I last cry and why? I think I last cried during, not out of necessarily sadness, but more out of just like, kind of, when my eyes teared up. It was like thinking about this new documentary, The Game Changers, and like I'm sure everybody's watched this documentary by now and everyone's taking it a certain way or whatever. But, what's pretty shocking, of course, is the whole agricultural side and how much goes on in the world with just the purpose of feeding livestock. And that didn't make me cry out of sadness, but it made me cry out of shock, or not cry, but definitely tear up. If I wasn't a DJ or producer, what would I be? If I didn't go down this path, probably either be a carpenter or an animator. The carpenter only because I was doing that right before I had left that line of work to pursue the career in music. And animator is I was always a drawer all my life, illustrator. I would have liked to have worked for Disney or potentially an anime company. I loved to draw, and I've not drawn much since starting with the music, so I should probably do that more. What is my favorite country to travel in? There's a couple of them. I'll give all three, because there's definitely not one. Either USA, Australia, or Argentina. I mean, they all have their great things about each place, and I love each one, and I feel very comfortable and at home in each one. So, yeah, those three. What's my best party memory from Amsterdam? Jeez, I mean, it's always great there, but I think this latest Luminosity kind of topped them all. I mean, I've been at lots of Luminosity beach festivals throughout the years. I think my favorite one was potentially this past one. I loved how they had the stage set up, how it was, the direction it was facing, the time I got to play, the people that were surrounding the entire DJ booth. It was just, the whole vibe was so nice from the beginning to the end of my set. So that definitely takes the crown for the new favorite memory from Amsterdam for me. Though technically it's not Amsterdam, but it's close enough, so I'm assuming that's acceptable. Name 3 tracks that I'm 100% going to play in Amsterdam. Well, okay, that's an easy one too. First track that I'm 120% going to play is my new single with Shelby Merry. It's called Someday, and it's coming out on Deep in Thought in December. Then, of course, my new remix of Brian Carney's Open My Mind, which featuring Deirdre McLaughlin. That came out last year, and I've just done the new remix. That'll be coming out soon as well. And I've just done a brand new remix of Liquid Soul and DJ Dream, Liquid Dream. Originally, I'd done this remix 2.5 years ago as Neodyne, but I just never felt that it sounded the way I wanted to, so I've completely given it a complete overhaul, and it'll be coming out as a Sean Tyas remix, which is completely redone next year in January. So that will also be giving another floor test as well. And that's it. See you on the dance floor for VII Amsterdam. We cannot wait.
I'm not so sure I believe in beginnings.